Did you know that in order to buy or sell any assets on the XRP Ledger DEX, you don't even have to care much about setting a trust line first? The only few things you really need to care about are your software wallet, owning some XRP, and owning the keys to your activated XRP Ledger account. Activated in that sense just means to pre-fund the base reserve, which is currently set to 10 XRP on the XRP Ledger mainnet. If you have your phone at hand and are ready for some action, then let's get started. Hey, what's up? My name is Krippenreiter, and this video is a follow-up to the first one, which was all about the theory around clock-based DEXs. So if you missed that one, you probably want to learn more about the basics first before following along with the practice. You will find the playlist in the description below, but I promise there will be reminders of earlier definitions along the way. Okay, we are back where we left off last time by simply opening the unhosted.exchange website. I hope it looks a little less scary for you than last time when we went through the basics. What you can already see and check are the prices and switch between different base and quote currencies. But what we still can't do right now is submit orders or check on our trust lines that we may have set in the past. For this to work, we have to sign in first, which is not a transaction that you will ever see on the XRP Ledger, but simply something to help the unhosted exchange website interact with your chosen wallet software. So what we will do is click on sign in. After we have clicked on sign in, we have three options to choose from. First, we have the Bifrost wallet, which you may know from Flare, and we have the Ledger hardware wallet, and lastly Zaman, which is what we will choose now. So we click on Zaman. Think about this process like with a tin can telephone that helps the website and your wallet speak to each other in a standardized way. As soon as we have clicked on Zaman, we are prompted with a sign request, which asks us about scanning a Zaman QR code, which is exactly what we will do right now. For this on our phone, we click on the little icon and click on Scan QR code. We aim at the QR code, and now we have to sign the sign in request. Depending on your software wallet, you have to sign in differently. Lastly, we click on close. Now that we are signed in, we can see our public address on the top, and it's finally time to try out different order types and also place some passive and aggressive orders to see if our expectations match reality. To keep it simple, we will focus on the XRP USD currency pair, but you can also choose any other pair to your liking. Something you may have to keep in mind is that not every token is the same. So for example, when I search for USD, you can see that there are many types of USD tokens, all issued by different issuers. You have GateHub, Bitstamp, SnapSwap, and USDC GateHub again. So it all depends on which issuer you trust and which token you want to trade on. For me, it will be USD from GateHub. Our first order will be a basic market order, which we will use to sell some XRP in return for some USD. So I click on sell and look at the bid side to find out how much XRP I can sell into the buy side, without crashing my portfolio like seen here. This is something which can happen if you market order buy or sell way too many base currency assets into the market without much liquidity existing in the order book. In our case, since there are 16 XRP on the buy side for this price, I will simply put in 10 XRP, which will in return probably give me around 5 USD, which is acceptable for me. So I click on sell XRP. This opens an offer create transaction, which I will now have to sign with my Zaman wallet. So again, I click on the little icon and click on scan QR code. Now I can see the issuer of the USD token, how much XRP I want to sell, and how much USD I will probably get in exchange for all my XRP that I want to sell. I can also see the transaction fee, which is as low as 12 drops. I slide to accept and sign again using my private keys. and end up with a signed successfully message which gives me the transaction ID. I click on close since the transaction got submitted successfully. Wait, why is the selling price so much lower than any price in the top of the order book? That's a very good question, and you're right. When we look at the trade history, we can see that the selling price was way below the price we expected to sell our XRP for. We will only find out the answer if we check on the XRPL Explorer what really happened. Here we have our offer create transaction, and we can see in the details what really happened in the background. My account offered to pay 10 XRP in exchange for a very low USD price. But since the fill or kill option was set, this order either had to be fully executed or it would have done nothing. So to ensure that the market order would actually be executed, the price was set much lower than we had hoped. But don't worry, in the metadata we see that the balance changed by far more USD per XRP simply because there were many open buy orders willing to buy the amount of XRP I wanted to pay. Another interesting aspect is the fact that we didn't set up a trust line first, which usually has to be configured first as a precaution so that an account can hold a certain token. It happened in the background only because we wanted to hold the USD token in exchange for some XRP. One drawback of this in quote misconfigured trust line is that as long as it stays that way, it will only ever allow you to hold the amounts you bought on the exchange. It will not allow anyone else to send you this token though. If we look at our Zaman wallet, we actually see this error mentioned by the yellow exclamation mark. If I click on it, Zaman actually offers to fix this for me, which I once again have to accept and sign. So I click on more info and fix, get the information and click on fix. This prompts me with another transaction I have to sign, which I will accept. The transaction gets submitted and verified, and finally it's submitted successfully and my trust line got updated. After selling 10 XRP into the market, I now also want to buy back some XRP again using limit orders and the different option types that I can choose from. So I switch to limit orders. Here I can see the funds that I own and all the options that I can choose from. We already covered fill or kill, more or less by accident, but good till cancel and immediate or cancel are still there for us to check out. So let's start with good till cancel because I want to set some passive orders very low for a very low price. As we know, good till cancel can be used to add liquidity into the market, which I will do now and set a limit price of $20 for a quantity of 5 XRP. So what I want to receive are 5 XRP. I click on buy XRP. The offer create transaction opens up and I have to once again scan the QR code. So again, I click on the icon and click on scan QR code. As you can see, GateHub is the issuer once again, as we are still trading the same asset. And I want to sell 1 USD in exchange for at least 5 XRP. Okay, the offer got created. And in essence, this just means that this order will wait for someone to market order sell a huge amount of XRP into the market, which as a result should hopefully also consume my order as well. Fingers crossed. If we now look at the open orders, we can see the open order that I just created. Here we see that the buying price is $20 and the amount I want to buy is 5 XRP. The condition we configured was good till cancel and I had to pay a few drops to submit the order. So this order will only ever get consumed if the price drops down to $20. Maybe a little unrealistic, who knows? If I ever want to cancel the order or simply want to change it, I have to cancel and recreate the order. Okay, let's check on xrpscan.com to see what it means to keep an order open. For this I will search for Krippenreiter and open my public address. It opens the account summary and lets me check on the reserves. In my case, I have 38 XRP locked away for my reserve. If we scroll down and click on Objects, we can see more details on all the reserves that I hold. As you can see, every object locks away some XRP. Here we also see the offer that I created and the flag, which is sell. I want to sell a certain USD for 5 XRP, and for this I have to lock up or lock away 2 XRP, for as long as this open order exists. Last but not least, there's the order type immediate or cancel, which I want to try out. I expect my aggressive order to be either fully or partially filled without leaving any open orders behind. However, it may also be that the order simply cancels itself without doing much because there are no matching sell orders available. In my example, it makes sense to just use the price shown in the spread, which will be 0.5269 USD. And I choose to once again buy 5 XRP. So I click on buy XRP. The offer create transaction needs to be signed again, which we will do by scanning the QR code once again. If we review the transaction, we will see that the issuer once again is GateHub. We need to sell $2.63 in exchange for at least 5 XRP. The flag we have set is immediate or cancel, and sell because we are selling USD to buy XRP. Okay, the transaction got signed, so let's see what happened. When we open up the offer create transaction that we have signed, we already get greeted with a fail message, indicating that something didn't work out as planned. Further in the details, we can confirm that in fact immediate or cancel was used, but no matching order existed to consume my buy order of 5 XRP. The only thing that I had to pay to test out the setting was 12 drops. So all in all, not too bad. If you are a trader and not a boring holder like me, you should now know all the tools to get started and use the XRP Ledger Central Limit Order Book the way it fits your trading strategy. If that means buying XRP and holding it forever, so be it. All the power to you. If you still have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share this tutorial with your whole family. I really hope you learned something new today. I wish you a lovely day, and until next time. Ciao ciao!